Karen strikes again.
What happened this time?
Let's talk about it, y'all. Middle America.
What are you people? We're Americans.
We are Americans indeed. Welcome. My name is Vincent.
And I'm Sori.
Her name is Sori. And we are Middle America. We're not left wing.
We're simply right.
We're not left wing. We're not right wing. We're just right. That's how it's supposed to go. Or whatever.
I'll get it.
So, you guys sent me this video, and that's the way it goes. Facebook.com/America Middle. If you want to join the conversation on Facebook, it is...
It's not for the uninitiated. They don't boot people off the stage on that channel. So if you don't like to see all that ruckus going on and seeing like people posting exactly what they think, there are very few things that you'll get banned for. So
and for some strange reason, we have a bit of an echo on my mic, like always. So there's that. Okay, guys. So this young woman's name is Abigail Elphick, I think her name is.
Okay.
So we're gonna just check out this video and react to it. And apparently, okay. So here's the video, and we're just gonna check it out.
And for those who say that they want the backstory as to why she behaved as she did, Abigail felt that the black woman was being rude in her opinion because she told her to stay her 6 feet apart. And when she expressed her feeling to the woman ignored her and moved away from her, which led her to feeling wronged. So this is how Miss Abigail reacted. Take a look at this grand performance.
Oh God, no, excuse. Now you are, oh my God! Oh my God!
Wait, hold on.
That the black woman was being rude in her opinion
because
she told her to stay her 6 feet apart. And when she expressed her feeling to the woman ignored her and moved away from her, which led her to feeling wronged. So this is how Miss Abigail reacted. Take a look at this grand performance.
Oh God, no.
Whoa, so she just like came and tried to smack her or smack the phone out of her hand?
Yeah, maybe.
What's going on, Abigail? Chill out, bro. Hold on.
How Miss Abigail reacted. Take a look at this grand performance.
Oh God, no. Excuse.
Yo, she went up and tried to hit her, bro. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not gonna say that. Let's continue.
Now you are. Oh my God! Oh my God! Do you see this? Oh my God! I never thought nothing like this would happen to me. She just tried to run and hit me, and now she. Did you see her? You saw her, right? They all saw her.
So she went to hit sister. And then I think she realized, holy shit, I'm on camera. And so she went with the white woman in distress thing.
Oh, no.
White woman in distress. Shout out to Larry St. Amant, my brother from another mother. We continue.
Oh, my God. Karen had a breakdown. She tried to hit me. Ask your workers. She tried to hit me. She tried to hit me. Now I want security for you. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay, she's saying, I didn't try to hit you. I just didn't want to be recorded. Well, both of them can be true at the same time. Those aren't mutually exclusive.
Right, exactly.
Just so that everybody understands, we know this very well.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in a public place, there is no expectation of privacy.
Nope.
So this whole idea where you knock somebody's phone out, and this is good too, even for the police. A lot of times the police will try to tell you, oh, you can't record me. It's untrue. In a public forum, you have no expectation of privacy. So this black woman was well within her rights to record this. And obviously, as black people, you need to. Because unless you have overwhelming evidence,
Should have thought about that before you did what you did. Oh my God, this shit don't even feel real. This do not feel real.
I didn't try to hit you. Please don't record me.
You're lying. You did try to hit her.
Don't record me.
Y'all had to get security. She charged me. If I wouldn't have ducked, she would. Oh no, you just wanted security for me, right? I want security for you now. No, don't cry. No. I want you to call security. Thank you. I just came to get my.
She's threatening you?
That's what the girl said?
Yeah, she just said she's threatening me.
What?
The only threat that I could see there was I'm going to call a security guard on you. Other than that, I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
what it is they're talking about. Of course, Brother Tasco quoted Brother Abdul Muhammad, where he says that these people are disagreeable to live with in peace.
Oh boy.
Brother Muhammad was a beautiful brother. There are a lot of things I disagreed with Brother on. But there are certain types of people who are disagreeable to live with in peace, and this lady is obviously one of them. We continue.
Penny, you know how you get the coupon in the mail? And I got to pick up my Converse boots from Nordstrom's. I don't know why this is happening to me.
John asked the question, what if she is sorry really? Well, if she was really, I'm with you, John. If she was really sorry, she would tell the truth, right? She wouldn't say that she didn't go to hit her. She wouldn't say that she was being threatened. If she was an honest person, she would tell the truth. The fact that she's continuing to lie as she's having this breakdown indicates to me that she's not an honest person.
Why did the camera get taken out in the first place?
Well, because she had told her to give her 6 feet, and this lady didn't want to, so that, it created a situation. So this lady pulled out the phone, which, as we've seen, we all know that if Shorty didn't pull out the phone when George Floyd was getting killed, Chauvin would be walking the streets this day. You know that.
Right.
I know that.
Right.
So you've got to understand where you are. Now, black folks, we know. We know. So Shorty pulled out her phone. She did the right thing. We continue.
Don't charge me. Oh, you wanna? Oh, yeah, she. I'm scared to even approach her.
Don't record my mental breakdown?
You scaring me. Like you gotta go postal.
No, it appears the black lady asked a white woman to move 6 feet back, which started this entire altercation. The white woman then went to charge the black woman and take her phone or smack her. One of the two.
Fragility Olympics. This Abigail made sure
Here, I'll
that
rewind
she
it
would
for
not be
you.
outdone. And for those who say that they want the backstory as to why she behaved as she did, Abigail felt that the black woman was being rude in her opinion because she told her to stay her 6 feet apart. And when she expressed her feeling to the woman ignored her and moved away from her, which led her to feeling wronged. So this is how Miss Abigail reacted.
So the woman moved away. This is how she reacts.
Take a look at this grand performance.
Oh God, no, excuse.
See, she rolled up on her and tried to assault her. That's the genesis of this entire discussion.
Well, the phone gets all jumbled around, so she must have hit it.
Correct.
Hit me. She tried to hit me. Now I want security for you.
She's lying. She did try to hit her. We just saw it. This is why I said, if she was genuinely crying and genuinely sorry, then she wouldn't lie.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You should have thought about that before you did what you did.
You did.
Oh my God. This shit don't even feel real. This do not feel real.
I didn't try to hit you. Please don't record me.
Oh no, we got to record you. We got to record you.
These people
Y'all
are
had to
just
get
pretending
security.
it's not happening.
She charged me. If I wouldn't have ducked, she would. Oh no.
Here's SLV. She's saying sorry. It doesn't matter if you listen. SLV, if I smack you in the face and you say, why'd you smack me in the face? And I say, I never touched you. What are you talking about? I'm sorry. That's what happened here. No. Saying you're sorry while you're actively lying undoes your apology.
Oh, you just wanted security for me, right? I want security for you now. No, don't cry. No. I want you to call security. Thank you.
Wow.
Yes, she started it by recorded. I'll explain to you later, Kai, why she needs to record it. There's a history in America of white women getting very distressed and then black people dying over that bullshit. So all of us know that we need to come armed with our cameras anytime we get in an altercation with one of these folks out in public. As I said, Derek Chauvin wouldn't be able to walk right out free and clear if it wasn't for that young lady with the phone. So you definitely need to record it for sure.
I just came to get my free panty. You know how you get the coupon in the mail? And I got to pick up my Converse boots from Nordstrom. I don't know why this is happening to me. Don't charge me. Oh, you want to? Oh, yeah, she. I'm scared to even approach her.
Please.
You scaring me. Like you gotta go postal.
No. Don't record.
Don't. No, why don't she walk away from me?
Yeah,
no,
really.
No.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Why not tell the
That's
white girl
why
to
we
walk
record.
away? Yeah.
So the white girl is the assaulter.
Right.
She goes after Shorty, and then she does this giant. So now the other white lady says, "You move," to the black girl. Why should the black girl move?
Right.
That's why we record. That's the reason. These people were there. They saw the whole thing, but it's on the black girl to record. It's not on the white girl to get her shit together and move on. No. And you'll notice nobody rebuked her for trying to assault this girl. Nobody. Yet. We continue.
I'm not doing this. Why don't I walk away from her? Why don't she get away from me? She could get away. Go wherever you want to go.
She's getting what?
This is crazy.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
Whoa!
Did she faint?
She collapsed. Token 420 says a lot more of these anymore thanks to Trump. No Token. This has been going on since the inception of America. That's not Trump. It's not Trump's fault. We can't blame this nonsense on Trump.
No, I was here. No. We're not doing this. Why don't I walk away from her? Why don't she get away from me? She could get away. Go wherever you want to go.
She's getting what?
This is crazy.
She's recording me. This person's threatening me. She's recording me. She has poor purple hair. Just put the phone down.
She's lying on the phone. Don't tell me what to do.
Then there goes the other white lady. Just put the phone down. No, I'm not going to.
No way.
Listen, this is a matter of survival for us. Mm-hmm. This is one of those examples where people don't realize what's happening.
Right.
People are speaking from a place of privilege. It's so easy. Just put the phone away.
Right.
Nah, bruh.
Right.
Nah. Because when the federales show up to my house, I need to have video evidence that I was not the assaulter. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to rely on the good nature of the people in the
tell the truth.
in Victoria's Secret who are constantly telling the victim what to do and not telling the assaulter to get her shit together. Now, I will say, this is clearly an edited video, right? So maybe there was some interaction with the folks at Victoria's Secret telling Shorty to calm down, but this is a very important case study in why if you're a person of color, you better carry that camera phone with you, and you better make sure it's charged. Because you know and I know what the story would have been if we didn't see this on camera.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
She said I threatened her. Well, I don't give a fuck about her being sick.
Oh, she threatened her. She's on the phone doing the white woman in distress thing. She threatened her. She's lying. Unbelievable.
I'm worried about me. You hear this? Yo, y'all can't think y'all hear this? This stuff y'all read about. This is real. This is really happening to me. She's on the phone with the police on me, and she chased.
Okay, that lady's telling her go outside, go outside. So you gotta give her that. So shout out to her.
Me around the damn store. She chasing me around the damn store, and I'm supposed to.
She's recording me. She's taping me and she's threatening me. She recorded my vessel breakdowns and she's laughing. Get come over here, please. Ah, my heart's racing.
She calling the police on me now.
I feel so embarrassed.
She's calling the police. We don't know if she's actually calling the police. She's assuming she's calling the police, but we don't know that.
I thought she said police.
I can't believe this long and security not here. Yeah, get the cops here.
Get the cops here. Mm-hmm. That's why she had all these people. Why is she recording? That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Black people be dying. You see this? See what these people do? They call in a panic and tell police that you doing something to them when you clearly saw her chase me around the store.
I didn't see anybody chase you around the store. People are saying that she chased her around the store. I will try to find that video.
Well, that would make more sense as to why she started recording. Because why record just because somebody told you to? You know what I mean?
I know people who.
No, if the white girl said, "Hey, can you back up?" and then she didn't answer her and she just started walking off, and then the white girl started following her around, then she grabs her camera phone. That makes sense.
As Patricia Bennett says, let that have been a dirty old man yelling and falling out with shorts on. Correct. Which is why this is why I'm covering this. Look, there's a reason, guys, and I'm not beating a dead horse because there is a connection. There's a reason that Anna did what she did. Anna Kasparian, and this is what I believe, mooned Jimmy Dore. Jimmy then made a comment because he was upset about it. He said, nice news skirt. And all the focus is on how bad Jimmy is for saying nice news skirt. And none of the focus is on Anna for flashing someone. There's definitely a gender play here in that situation and race play in this situation. And that's why these discussions are important, particularly for progressives.
Yep.
We continue.
He's telling them, get here, I'm helping, my heart's racing. Look, that's how they be getting us killed. You see this?
I'm Vin, she's Sori. He was upset about it, Vin? No, come on. Who was upset about it? What's Evil Pear talking about?
I don't know. The Jimmy Dore thing that you talked about.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it appears that Jimmy was offended. But again, we're focusing again on Jimmy. We're not focusing on the person that had the power exposing themselves because the gender dynamics were different.
Right.
You wouldn't be saying that if it was the other way around, where Jimmy wore something that was objectively categorized as inappropriate by the college she was working for. Mm-hmm. But instead of holding her accountable, everybody's looking at Jimmy. That's my only point. And progressives got to figure this shit out. Mm-hmm. How equal are men and women, right? And how equal are black people and white people? Yep. That's the question. I think we've got the black people white thing figured out as progressives. I don't think we've got the gender thing figured out at all. And the people who hate progressives, I'm not one of them. I have a lot of affinity for progressives, but people who hate progressives are absolutely going to exploit that weakness. Watch, unless we figure it out. Good question, though, Pierre.
People are trying to help her and ask her to step out the store. Of course I'm not helping you. Why would I help you? You trying to hurt me. You see that shit?
Look at her.
Come here now.
Look, she's angry. Like, you can see, like, she wants to hurt this black lady.
But then she has to keep doing the victim thing.
She's recording me. She's recording my mental breakdown. This is amazing. She pushed me to this point. She's recording me.
She pushed me to this point.
Unbelievable.
It's her fault.
Unbelievable.
She said, I'll say my 16 and she was really unfriendly. And then she's putting this for the whole world to see. I don't want her posting anything of my personal stuff. Get that phone down.
She then asked a poignant question.
Where is the mall security?
Of course, in enters the police.
So I was attacked in the mall, almost attacked in the mall. The manager, I had to run behind her. I chased him around. He telling me he can escort me to my car, but she.
I gotta look. Somebody put the link in the chat where she was chasing her, because I didn't see that. I'm not saying she's lying. I didn't see it. We continue.
She doesn't have to leave the mall.
Listen,
I'm not finished shopping. I have 2 other stores to go
Here's what
to.
I'm saying. I don't work for the mall. I can't order her out of the mall.
Yeah, but you work for Milburn. I was just almost assaulted in this mall.
I can't. The mall security can ask. What I'm saying is, I'm not telling you have to leave or anything, but
I'm not.
Do you see what's happening here? Hey, I'm not telling you have to leave. Listen, black lady, just be happy that I'm not going after you. You should be happy.
Wow.
And she's saying, yeah, but that lady tried to assault me. What the cop should be doing right now is taking a statement from this black woman. But notice, he is talking to her like he's doing her a favor by not kicking her out when she's the victim. That's why you record everything. Unbelievable.
Saying that, but
for some reason,
if the shoe was on the other foot and I would have tried to attack her white ass, you would have me escorted out this mall.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Escorted out of the mall. Sisters, very kind. They wouldn't have escorted you out the mall, sis. You'd have been in cuffs. Yes, sir. Being all loud and ethnic like that, laying on the ground and shit, charging people. Again, I got to see this video where she's chasing her around.
That's just how I feel. This woman, mind you, the manager done told him. The manager told me he chased, huh?
I wish you didn't feel that way.
I do feel that way. I do feel that way. I was just almost attacked and assaulted, and you telling me 3 times.
I can't kick her out. You should be taking a statement, officer. Why aren't you taking a statement, officer?
Can't get out. You hear this? So he's telling me that, first of all, the manager already said she tried to attack me. I want her to leave the mall. I don't understand why she can't be escorted out the mall. She tried to attack me twice. She should be escorted out the mall. Okay. See this?
Just so you know, if you were curious, this is white privilege.
Right. Exactly.
This is white privilege. That's what that is. Holy moly. Holy moly. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But very believable. We continue.
And she's crying and they just being all sympathetic to her tears. I don't care about her white tears. She needs to be escorted out the mall. She chased me around the store and tried to attack me twice.
All right. Guys, I got to pause this for a second. I pulled up another video because I got to see this chase thing because...
Oh, God, no, excuse.
She made contact. Okay. Mm-hmm. She made contact. You heard that little...
That's why
Let's try that again. Let's try that again.
Oh, God, no.
Bang, okay.
Now you are... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Do you see
Where's the chasing, though? I don't see any chasing.
I can show you.
Stop laughing!
She say stop laughing.
Yeah.
Crazy lady. In case she attacked me and try to say I attacked her. You cut. Look at this.
Get away from me!
Oh,
Holy shit.
Get this lady.
Oh, she did. Whoa.
That's security. Security. Look at this. Yes.
Holy shit.
Get her away.
Holy shit.
Get her away from me. She's the one that's chasing me.
Get her away from me. Subhanallah.
No, I got to just protect myself. She's trying to attack me. No, no, no.
Yeah, again, somebody telling her to turn the thing off. Hell no, I ain't gonna turn it off. Okay. So she did try. So she chased this girl around, hit her phone, did all this craziness, and the cop can't take a statement, can't do anything, looks completely disinterested. He's like, hey man, we can't kick her out. What do you mean you can't kick her out? We don't have enough authority to kick her out of the store. We can't kick her out. What? You're the police? The security guard, the lame duck security guard has more authority than you? You can't arrest her, you can't do anything? You can't take statements, can't take witnesses? The woman has a phone. Did you want to see what actually happened? Why is she recording it?
Wow.
That's why she's recording it. Holy
Wow.
shit. Holy shit. Sometimes, man. Whoo.
I wish you didn't feel that way.
I wish you didn't feel that way.
Okay.
Never mind. It wasn't 24.
See this?
Poor thing.
And she's crying and they just being all sympathetic to her tears. I don't care about her white tears. She needs to be escorted out the mall. She chased me around the store and tried to attack me twice.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So her
All right,
meltdown
get
is
you in
done
there.
now.
Huh?
She's able to control herself now and not scream.
Oh yeah, now see, everybody's like, oh, she's got a mental illness. The mental illness just completely subsided once the police showed up.
Gone.
Just completely subsided. Okay.
I don't want to go until she's gone.
Now they're talking. Now the guy's talking to her and say, hey, shorty, I mean, you could be in trouble. Now she starts crying again.
No, she should be escorted out the mall. She tried to attack me twice. You doing that because she white and she crying.
Correct. Look. And the cop turns around. He's got something to say to her. He's got something to say to
Telling
her.
her where to go.
Look at his face. But to this girl, oh yeah. Yeah, we continue.
Wow.
I am nowhere near her. I
Wow.
don't have to move. I'm not breaking any laws. Now you get so aggressive with me. Get aggressive like that with her.
Look, he just,
Yeah.
y'all see that? He just waved her off.
Wow.
Just waved her off. Look at it again.
Wow.
Watch.
No,
Watch.
she should be escorted out the mall. She tried to attack me twice. You doing that because she white and she crying. I am nowhere near her. I don't have to move. I'm not breaking any laws.
Exactly.
Now you get so aggressive with me. Get aggressive like that with her.
Yeah. See?
Look at this shit. See this shit? This lady chased me around the Victoria's Secret store. Literally.
And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take bets that the girl who is filming this crazy person could probably take her in a fight.
Oh.
When she was running from her, you heard her laughing. It was funny to her. But see, we know that we've got to conduct ourselves a certain way in public. Now, she's got Shorty dead to rights, and look how the cops are talking to her.
And the manager told them that she chased me. And they don't want to do anything but listen to her crying.
And this
That's
woman,
unbelievable.
this woman is a teacher's aide, according to Revolutions, which is one of the reasons my black sons will never go to a public school.
100%.
Look at this shit. Mind you,
Yes, song snob, you can be seen.
she crying. She chased me around the store. I should be crying. I got chased.
So seeing that top flight security, the cops, did nothing, she decided to file a formal complaint against the officers, if you want to call them that showed up on the scene and did nothing to aid her as a citizen of this great country. Take a look.
I can show you a video and you're telling me you don't want to see the video.
I don't want to hear from your mouth.
Oh, I don't want to see the video. I want to hear it from your mouth. Why?
So then they can say, well, it was her word against yours.
Correct. So that if this gets escalated, why you didn't action it? He's going to say, I never saw it. You see how that works? I want to hear it from your mouth. Why? The video is going to be more reliable than her word, right? That's why we have video in the first place. Let me ask you a question, officer. If the DA comes to you because they want to make sure that they've got a solid case against a perp, and you say, well, I have one eyewitness, or you say, I have it on camera, what's the DA going to ask you for? Y'all seeing this? This is a cop actively trying to make sure that this white lady gets off. That's what's happening.
Yep. 100%. That's what's happening.
What is it?
All right, so I was in the mall. Basically, they didn't protect me. They didn't try to make from the woman that attacked me and chased me around the store. They did.
See, now this is a mistake. Black people, listen. I have some experience in dealing with police officers. She should not have gone into the story.
Right.
What she should have done is say, "What is your badge name? What's your name? What's your badge number? Give me the name of your supervisor immediately." Is what she should have done. Remember, these people work for you. We continue.
Ask her to leave or anything. They said they weren't able to. They weren't able to ask her to leave the mall. I've never heard of such a thing. Because if I was chasing her around the store, I'm sure I would have been asked to leave the mall and or arrested.
I agree. Eyewitness testimony is evidence, so not as great as video. I agree completely. However, when a person says, I have the strongest possible version of evidence, and you ask for the weaker version of evidence that has been summarily dismissed in literally hundreds of thousands of cases, he knows what he's doing. And I'm sure you know that, but it's important to be accurate. So SLV, thank you. He's right. Eyewitness testimony is accepted in court, for sure. But we all know that video testimony is the best.
And I showed him the video.
Why do you believe that?
What you mean why do I believe that? Because
Why do you believe that?
The cop is asking, why do you believe that if you would have been arrested if you were carrying on like this? Hey, here, let's try this. Somebody get me a video of a black woman attacking a person multiple times, hitting their phones, chasing them around the store, yelling and screaming, being all ignorant. Charging at them. And the police treat the black woman this way and the white victim this way. Get me that template, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do a Middle America video on it. You'll be a skeleton because you'll never find one. We continue.
okay, I don't want to play this game again today. You know, this happened to me Saturday. I'm very emotional about it. Okay, I'm asking you. I want to file a complaint against your two officers. You said I can do that with you, right? Because I see this is getting nowhere.
I'm going to give you an internal affairs complaint form.
Moshmaster is giving us a good tip. Badge numbers are difficult to remember. In some towns, the badge number is 7 to 9 digits. Yep, and that's why you take out your phone and after he tells you that, you just take a picture of it. Okay, because some of it is legal, but a lot of it is psychological. It shifts the psychological balance of power back to you, which is what you want. So she's seen it happen. I got confronted by a police officer. I went back and forth with him, and I said, okay, I'm done talking to you. Give me your supervisor. Supervisor shows up. We had a little discussion. I said, all right, I'm done with you. You got to leave me alone now. Leave me alone. You're not going to arrest me. Leave me alone. And what did he do? He left me the fuck alone. Smart. His buddy, though, went through a 3-year lawsuit. Don't fuck with me. We continue.
You're gonna fill it out. I'm gonna pass it on to the Internal Affairs Unit, and they'll be doing the investigation.
So he'll pass it on to the Internal Affairs Unit. Notice, though, we have yet to see the video.
Mm-hmm.
I see I'm gonna need a lawyer. Anybody that can help me with a good lawyer reference or point me in the right direction, please help me. Because you see how this is going.
So you notice that little sleight of hand. That's why I told sister, you shouldn't have answered that question, because you notice she never got to show him the video. Mm-hmm. Not in this little clip. Mm-hmm. You notice what he did? She's like, look, I've got overwhelming evidence that puts this girl dead to rights. The cop actively said, I want to hear it from your mouth, and then left, didn't look at the video.
Wow.
So now he's got deniability. Mm-hmm. And y'all trying to tell me there's no such thing as white privilege? Y'all trying to tell me we don't have an issue in the police force? You know what's funny? These Karens know.
Yep.
They know.
Yep, she knew exactly what to do.
She knew what she was doing.
Yep.
And it worked, right? It worked. She lost her temper. She hit someone. She broke the law. She played the white woman in distress card. And now, instead of focusing on what she did, we're talking about this lady. Doesn't that sound familiar? We had a situation where a woman who is red as white in our current society did something horribly wrong that should have ended her career. And what did she do? She played the same card, did the white woman in distress thing, very, very, very emotional. And now, instead of people talking about what she actually did, everybody's talking about the 3 words, nice new skirt. You see how that works? This is historical, ladies and gentlemen. And in spite, now watch this. Here's another parallel. In spite of the video evidence that shows the character of that young lady who made that accusation, it didn't matter to certain people. You see?
Unbelievable.
And you're telling me that this is just drama and that we don't need to focus on this and figure this shit out? Really?
If this were reversed, actually, there was an incident of a black woman who had a legitimate mental breakdown, and she became a hashtag. But how do you think this would go? Let's see how society villainizes this black woman, because that is tradition in this country, and then defend this woman's bad behavior under the excuse that she suffers from some kind of mental illness.
Now, Mao's Red Army said something really, really, really important that I agree with him on. White privilege will never go away in America. It's too ingrained into society. Listen, I'm going to drop this is why I said, like, I'm not like completely a progressive. I don't have a problem with white privilege. And here's why. We're living in a society that's majority white. So as a Christian, I believe all of us are sinners, which makes us automatically selfish. So if I live in a society where 66% of the population is black, I'm going to have certain privileges because I'm part of the majority class. I didn't do anything wrong, and there's not even anything wrong morally in my mind with that brute fact. The only thing that black people have been complaining about since the inception of the country is, okay, you had a little bit of a head start. That's cool. You have a little bit of a handicap. That's cool. You probably need it. Just don't put any hurdles in my way when I go to run. Mm-hmm. That's all we've been asking for. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with privilege. I see it as a you can look at it as from a Christian perspective or an evolutionary perspective, selfish gene theory, whatever you want to say. Like, I don't think that having privilege is the worst thing in the world. For example, I'm a man.
That's where I was going to go with
I have male privilege. Mm-hmm. The black lady in the store is an American. Guess what? If you're an American, you're one of the most privileged human beings that has ever walked terra firma. So all of us have privileges to varying degrees. The problem that I have is this shit right here, where a person can attack you and there is no justice. And then if you handle it yourself, then you're the angry black woman or the angry black man who's just prone to violence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's the problem. And that's always been the problem. We have never, Malcolm, Martin, Nat Turner, we have never said we're going to be completely and totally accepted by white America. None of our leaders has ever said that because we understand. But the issue is stop putting barricades in the way of my progress. We continue.
They always do. The black woman in the recording is in search of a lawyer to represent her and has a GoFundMe page set up to assist with the fees. If you would like to help, I'll link the info in the description box below.
Wait.
Let's see how society villainizes this black woman, because that is tradition in this country, and then defend this woman's bad behavior under the excuse that she suffers from some kind of mental illness, as they always do. The black woman in the recording is in search of a lawyer to represent her and has a GoFundMe page set up to assist with the fees. If you would like to help, I'll link the info in the description box below. Let me know what you think in the comment section and subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video.
All right.
That was terrible. Oh my gosh. It's weird. You know what's weird?
Now here's Norman Bunch, who's quoting Officer Tatum, who is one of the, there's Candace Owens and then there's Officer Tatum. Now look at this. The first officer in the video asked the black lady to email the video to the police department. Norman, why? And Norman, you might have came in late, brother, but Shorty was in the precinct and saying, I have the video on my phone, let's watch it, and the cop refused.
Just wanted her paperwork.
He said, I want to hear it from your mouth. I don't want to see the video. And she was in the office with him.
And he would pass it on.
He filled out the paperwork, and then he left, never looked at the video. You might have missed that. You might have just jumped on, but missed me with the Officer Tatum thing where they said they would email the video. Why? Take the video evidence right there. You know why they didn't want to look at the video? Because if they looked at the video on scene, they would have had to arrest Shorty. That's why they didn't want to look at the video.
Facts.
Unbelievable. Old Gringo says, I'm old and I'm white. Yeah, there's white privilege, especially with the cops. Poor whites also get treated badly by some cops. Oh, yeah. No. Poor whites get treated badly by a bunch of cops. So we were, Old Gringo, listen, as far as how the police operate, okay, there's a racial bias, but there is absolutely an economic bias, 100%, right?
We saw it a bunch of times.
So we live in Maine, and the inner city in Maine is actually mostly populated by down and out white people. And there were two incidents. One incident was there was this white guy, and we had just come out of church, and he was drinking in public, was it? Well, that's illegal in Maine. And the cop, in front of everybody, takes the beer and pours it over this guy's head. Okay? So people run up to me. They're like, Vin, this cop just did this, blah, blah, blah. So I run over there, and there's a guy, and I'm like, yo, you good, blah, blah, blah. This is a white dude. And he's like, he was happy. You remember, what did he say?
Because the cop didn't arrest him.
He was just happy not to get arrested. He didn't care. So I am under there's another situation. This one was infuriating, and I almost got legal with this, where it was this, again, down and out girl. She's single mom, 2 kids, and she was so excited because she just got a job at Dunkin' Donuts. The girl across the street from her was in crisis and made up all these crazy conspiracy theories. I mean, the girl was legitimately in crisis. Made up all these conspiracy. The cop shows up at Sabrina's workplace the first day of her job.
Yeah.
Yelled at her in front of everybody and said, if you don't return those items, there were no items, by 5 o'clock, I'm going to come to your house and arrest you. Said that right in front of everybody. There's a white girl he did this to. So I went to the precinct and I said, bullshit. I said, who I want to talk to this dude like right now. 'Cause people used to come to me because they know I handle police. I said, yo, I want so the guy takes me into the back away from you guys. You remember that?
Oh, I do.
And I'm
Felt
sitting
so
there.
sick.
And he goes, yeah, he basically said that's like a little game that we play, blah, 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 because, you can't really know if somebody's innocent or not. I said, I don't give a fuck what game it was. That's completely illegal. You know it's illegal.
Yeah.
What is the, I was like, what? And he didn't want to turn over his friend and all the rest of it. And the lawyer just basically let it go. She's good now. So Sabrina was good after that. But I'm under no illusions that the cops treat poor white people well, because we're literally in the
our
front,
other friend too,
literally in the front line, and they do not treat them well at all.
They had some assumption that he had some drugs on him. He actually didn't, but they brought him down an alley and they roughed him up and beat him up to try to get information from him. Like, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They beat the hell out of that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That made me so sick. I'm like, what? I had never heard of something like that before until that point. And when I heard that, I just instantly felt like throwing up, because the idea that somebody has this position of authority and they're going to use that against people and pin them down an alley and beat them up in like a gang. And he was like a kid.
Yeah, it
Anyway.
was pretty bad. By the way, little bro, CEB, you don't have to super chat me, bro. I'll look for your stuff and I'll post it. I don't want you going broke. But I mean, if you want to super chat, go for it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'll look for your things. But he says he's from the hood in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and cops don't arrest whites by practice. On God, it's an unwritten policy. That is also true. That does happen in certain hoods. In our particular hood, the poor whites get stoled on by the cops almost every day. In other hoods, it's not like that.
Unbelievable.
This is frustrating. Yes, it's white privilege, but the white woman, Abigail, whatever, who is as guilty as sin, has a mother who is a police lieutenant.
I guarantee she said that when she got in the hallway.
Oh, well, she didn't have to say it. I'm sure they knew. They know her. I'm sure they knew her.
Oh, you're right.
I'm sure they knew her. Yeah, I'm
Right.
sure.
Wow.
Yeah, right outside of Boston is where CB Applejack is from. Shout out to CB. Yo, CB, if you have a channel or anything you want me to promote, big bro, hit me up. Vin and Sori at gmail.com. I'll support you any way I can, big homie. Yeah, man. So look, is it true that if you're a low class, and when I say low class, I'm not talking about your character, I'm talking about your standing in a capitalist superstructure.
Yeah.
If you're a low class white person, your chances of being treated this way by police are very, very small. If the way they treated that white lady. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you're here's the difference though. This is what privilege means. You could be a lawyer. You could be a black lawyer. So someone who's read as a high class person in this superstructure and get treated like absolute shit by the cops. That's the difference. That is the difference. And that's what we've been saying from the beginning. And look, you don't have to buy a Black Lives Matter shirt or whatever it is tomorrow. But when we say there's such a thing as white privilege, and when we say that the civil rights movement isn't over, this is what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. This black woman has to run. And I'm certain that she was socialized not to run. But she had to run from this white lady in order for her not to leave that scene in handcuffs. And then when she had this woman dead to rights, none of the cops wanted to see the video on site. Why?
So wrong.
Because if they did, protocol states they would have had to arrest that white lady, and their mission was to make sure that they didn't arrest that white lady. So you saw how they talked to the black lady while they knew they were being filmed. Exactly the same way that Derek Chauvin looked right into that camera while he was killing your brother.
I mean, this just goes to prove the code of blue silence or whatever it is, the blue wall, the code of silence that the cops have with each other. Like, if they knew that her mother was a lieutenant or whatever, and they didn't care. They didn't care.
Yeah. Shout out to Applejack. He got 100K from GameStop. You know the GameStop situation? Hey, you got to hit me up, big bro. We got to talk. I got to figure out how to do that shit next time. Much love to the homie. Yeah, guys. Gift said it perfectly. You could be a black president and get treated like shit by police. Correct. Now look. Yeah, I know Kai. Now, guys, Kai is in one of those amazing Scandinavian countries. So Kai is like, man, why record it and all that stuff,
Right.
man?
It just looks like it made the situation worse.
It's just like to embarrass her. Like he doesn't understand. And the other thing about Kai, I mean, he's a personal friend of mine outside of the channel, is he's such a good person.
Right.
He's almost childlike in how good he. I mean that as a compliment. Because Jesus said you have to be like a child. Right? Like he's almost childlike in his goodness. So he you know. But now he understands the situation that we're in. Okay. This right here. Let me just say the last thing. And you know, every black family, especially if you're a boy, we've had this conversation about Emmett Till. So Emmett Till was a young black boy, about 15 years old. He was at a convenience store. He whistled at a white woman or made some sexually suggestive comment to a white woman. And she did the white woman in distress thing. And then the beautiful people in the area, you know, assaulted this kid, dragged him whole 9 yards. His face was unrecognizable. And his mother forced them to do an open casket so that people could see what these people did to Emmett Till. Now, it doesn't matter. They still got off. Was that James Lindsay said that America's never been built on racism and we've had some struggles? That's what he said, James Lindsay. Okay. But notice here. Woman linked to 1955 Emmett Till murder tells historians her claims were false. Now, should brother have been killed for whistling at a white woman? Of course not. I think it's disrespectful to do that to women, and you shouldn't do that. And I teach my sons to be respectful. But you don't get the death penalty for whistling at white women. But in spite of that, he didn't even do it.
You know what's so frustrating too about the situation? The absolute hypocrisy of the way that women have been treated in this country, objectified, and everything that's happened. Who are these white men to come in there and say, oh, well, let's say the boy whistled at her. He whistled at her, and then they react like that, like they actually have a problem with objectification. No, you didn't have a problem with objectification. You had a problem with him being a black person, and that's why they beat him so you could not even recognize his face.
Correct.
Like there was obvious hate in that situation.
Correct.
Wow.
And then
it turns out not even to be true.
He didn't even whistle at her.
How old was he?
14? He's younger than Dorian. R.I.P. to the homie. All right, so SLV is asking the only real pertinent question here. And SLV is this guy's sharp as a tack, whoever he is. What can be done to solve these issues that are crushing us? And then he talks about police reform, right? Shaming racists, engaging in these kinds of convos. No, yeah. Well, one, and that's why we sign off always saying we are the media. Because somebody else said, man, what would have happened if we didn't have camera phones? And then he goes, it makes me think about all the things that were happening to people before camera phones. That's very scary. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Now, look, I don't agree with LeBron James, okay? I don't walk outside afraid of police. I don't get scared of police when I drive by them. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna tell you. I can't speak. I'm not gonna say that. But this is a black man that's not afraid of any police. Police are afraid of me, though.
It's true. I'm actually the one that gets a little nervous.
They're afraid of me, and they should be. But so how do we solve that? There's a couple things, right? One is we need to talk about these situations. you're going to get weird comments or it's uncomfortable or whatever, but we've got to keep talking about these situations.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. That's a simple thing that we can do, whether it's a Facebook post, Twitter post, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I would say is if you're going to share a video or something, make sure you have the full context before you share it.
Because if you get one little piece of information wrong, they're going to throw out the whole story.
Correct.
Because people do not want to admit or acknowledge that white privilege is an actual thing or that people are actually being handled this way by the cops. So they're looking for anything they can. That's why if something happens, they say, oh, well, we need to wait for the facts to come out. Like if something happens where it's a white person that does something to a black person, they say, well, we got to wait for the facts to come out. Let's hear what the reports say. Yeah. But if it's a black person that does something, it's just any tidbit of information that comes to them. They're like, well, that's what happened. He was this, he was that.
Yeah. So make sure you have the full context of the video. And the next thing that we need to do is, what we're doing here, we're in the middle of striking down qualified immunity where we are. Going after qualified immunity, police unions, and duty to act and duty to report. And the, what do you call it? The cams, right? Like I forgot, I think it was Seattle, where if there's a questionable issue and you didn't have your cam on, they're automatically going to say that you're guilty.
Yeah.
So there's police reform that can happen, but quite frankly, the only hope, honestly, on a human level that black people have for this is progressives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just to pause here, qualified immunity is what. So if any other job that you have, if you do something wrong when you're doing your job, you have some sort of malpractice when you're doing your job, you can get sued by the person that you harm with your malpractice. So it's, doctors, everybody has this. Well, cops are in this funny little situation where if they violate your rights, you cannot sue them personally. You personally cannot sue them personally. Like some lawsuit can kind of like come toward the station, blah, 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 all of that. But you personally cannot sue that cop personally, which obviously creates a whole host of issues because they're able to violate your rights and there's nothing that can be done about it. So that obviously needs to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very important. And there are, shout out to Steve. There are, I like the name too, Breedlove. There's some co-belligerency that you can get with guys like Justin Amash, who's a libertarian, Republican, whatever. He's pro ending qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is a very easy constitutional argument to make.
Oh, absolutely.
Clarence Thomas is against it. Sotomayor is against it. So, Ben
and Jerry.
Ben and Jerry. Yeah, we were in a hearing with Ben and Jerry, actually, with Ben from Ben and Jerry. Yep. No bullshit. Like the dude is like, he's all about it. I
can enjoy my ice cream and support the movement.
Yeah, yeah. We had a lawyer from the ACLU there. I mean, it's we're going after it hardcore. So, you can do it too. And link. If you want, link up with me and I'll show you how to draft one of those bills because we're literally in the middle of draft. I'm like on the committee drafting the second bill because the first one failed. I told the group.
You're on the committee?
Yeah. I'll tell you later.
Oh.
I told the group that I'm leading. I said this one's gonna get shot down. I told everybody, it was the first thing I said. This one's gonna get shot down. However, we're raising awareness about the concept, and now we're writing a second one. The second one's actually going to be more robust because we left out correctional officers in the first one. This one we're going to have correctional officers. So, we're not playing around. We're not playing around. So there's things that we can do here.
Yeah, I mean, qualified immunity is obviously evil because it hides.
Hold on real quick. I just want to talk about this. So here's King Harlem. First of all, this brother is smooth as hell. Look at this hat, bro.
Slick.
You on that Jay-Z shit, bro. Big pimpin'. My brother had to watch me be beaten by the police. Yeah, man. And, that's one of the prayers that I pray a lot. Jesus says, lead us not into temptation. And I pray a lot. I'm like, Lord, please, Lord, don't let me come upon some officer touching my son or my brother. I've already said what I had to say in a public forum about that. Mm-hmm. So I've already said it. Look. sometimes, man.
I had this dream that the basically the George Floyd situation was happening in front of me, and everybody, like, there was phones all over the place, and I was screaming at I was kind of looking like the Karen lady, screaming at the officers to stop, and then I threw my body on the officer to, like, bump him off the guy, and then they arrested me, and the guy still ended up dying, but and then I went to jail for 6 months because they said that I assaulted the officer, and so I was writing letters to my kid. I had this dream like a couple weeks ago. Was writing letters to my kids and telling them, like, the importance of, you know, what I was doing and why I wasn't with them. But obviously the little tinies, you can't send letters to them. So, yeah, it was a crazy situation. I don't know how you can be in a situation like that and take your, like, I think that it's important that people take their phones out. Like, for instance, if there's a black girl that's there and she takes her phone out to record, I understand why she's recording, but, like, those are the opportunities to use your white privilege for good and do what you can to stop something like that.
Who's recording?
Well, I'm saying, like, if there was, like, a black girl in a situation like that where she's holding up the phone because she's trying to record it so that way there's, like, in a George Floyd situation where she's trying to get that recorded, I understand why she's doing that. But I'm saying for somebody like me or other people, you know, that have white privilege, don't stand there with your phone, get involved. Like, yeah. There was like a bunch of phones there. We didn't need all those phones. We needed action. Yeah.
Not sure what I walked into. This feels like a nice ACAB chat. ACAB is all cops are bad. No, I don't believe that all cops are bad. Shout out to Jimmy Dore. I can't believe that because I have family members who are and were cops. The system that they're a part of is bad. The system is bad. The system is evil.
We know it. It's
cops obvious. Are not more sinful than the rest of us. However, what happens is when power interfaces with sin, you get corruption. So because they're given power, I just got done listening to this guy Dowd. He was a crooked cop. Like millions of dollars he stole from people, like drug runs, whole 9 yards.
Oh, he was the drug guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was a mafia person.
Yeah. I mean, he talked like that.
Yeah.
And then somebody else says any decent person, any decent human being would have stopped recording at that point.
Would have stopped recording at what point?
Well, again, we're pitying the Karen. Look at King Harlem, still handsome, thank God. You know that what reminds me of? The Most High made me like Samson. Strong, black, handsome.
Stop right there, sir.
Yeah, you don't want to hear the next line. I don't know. You might want to hear the next line.
Wow. Anyway.
All right, guys. So, look. Shout out to CEB. Shout out to King Harlem. Still looking handsome. Still big pimping. But he's got trouble seeing from his left eye. Don't worry, big homie. Don't worry. You're going to get a new left eye at the resurrection. It's going to be the baddest left eye in the entire universe, my guy. Look, man, much love to everybody. Much love to the Karen lady. Look, do I believe that she did a lot of that shit on purpose? Absolutely. However, would you be completely surprised if she had some diagnosable mania or pathology? Of course not. Mm-hmm. And at the human level, that should be empathized with. Okay? Like, I spent, this is a 1 hour video. I spent 99% of it saying, like, fuck this girl, blah, blah, blah. Because it needed to be said. Because our society is built to center the perpetrator and not the victim. However, I do believe that it's important to note she probably is not altogether there, right? Like, for example, we saw Central Park Karen, and she did the little crying thing. She didn't go like that extra. So at that level, there's an issue. Secondly, and this is getting really philosophical. If it was purely motivated by her racism or her reaction to the fact that her privilege was violated, because there's a lot of people who mistake the violation of their privilege as violation of their rights. Like a lot of people don't know the
absolutely.
difference between
Absolutely.
privilege and rights. Okay, so from that perspective, there and again, you're gonna have to do a lot of philosophical work to empathize with it, but. Like we watched this show, what is it? Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And it's these rich people who lose all their money and then they end up in a regular town, right? and the 90% of the comedy has to do with the fact that the trauma that they're dealing with because they've lost all those privileges. And
Right.
so we're all laughing at this family because the vast majority of us are not rich.
Right.
So we're looking at they're crying and being like, that's ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
They're interpreting it, though, as suffering.
Right.
So-
they lost everything and went to a poor town and stayed at basically a Motel 6.
Correct.
Where most people, if they lose everything, are on the street.
Correct. So I'm looking at this girl and she's reacting to the violation of her privilege. And it's clear to me that she grew up believing that was a static truth that was going to be there. And there's a lot of people where that really hurts them. Like when I see it all the time when an American goes outside of America. I've been in certain situations where I'm supposed to take care of people that were leaving the country. Like they are really traumatized by when their American privilege gets violated overseas. So at that level, I say, okay, there's something going on with this lady. There you go. Now here's 275. I do tend to get tired about how privileged I am. By the way, guys, 275 is my guy, right? So is another guy, served the country with distinction, obviously, et cetera, et cetera. 275. I understand that you're tired of hearing how privileged you are. What I'm tired of is seeing people that look like me get treated the way that Shorty got treated. So I would gladly trade places with you, bro.
Right, just have to hear about it.
I would gladly trade places with having to hear about how privileged I am versus having to see people that look like me have this shit happen to them. Or having to see a 250-pound officer put all of his weight, not on a man, George Floyd, I know that's what you were thinking, but on a 16-year-old girl. And then when the boys advance to try to protect her, he goes to his gun. I get tired of seeing that shit too. I love you, but you have no idea experientially what you're talking about at all. Not even a little bit.
I think the fact that, so you said, kind of be conscious of this woman, maybe she possibly has some mental illness.
Here's 275. 275. Why don't you ask what right privilege actually is instead of asking questions like this that don't make any sense? What we're talking about is the treatment of black people and white people in America, right? So you talking about how you were treated overseas in the military while you were part of an invading force is not a good analogy, right? We went to those people's house and posted up in their country. So they treated us the exact same way that you would treat an invader who came to your country. But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about, 275, is how people are treated in this country and why they're treated that way and what solutions we could have to move forward together as brothers in this country. That's the issue. Avoiding the problem is not the way forward.
Right.
Ignoring the very glaringly obvious issue is not the way forward. Interpreting any criticism of police as ACAB is not the way forward. And then re-victimizing yourself when you hear about white privilege instead of taking stock on where our country is not the way forward. What we're trying to do is move forward, but it seems that there are some people, I'm not talking about you specifically, it just seems to me that there are people who want things to remain as they are. And what I'm saying is that can't happen because a lot of people will die if that's the case. So I hear you, but there's a lot of people. Jason Sanon, for example, he served 12 years. 25B is his MOS, 275. Okay.
So I think that, I want to go back to your other point where you were saying about she might have some mental illness, something that she's dealing with. But I think that it's important to recognize that if somebody has claustrophobia, they get triggered by things that make them feel like they're going to be in trouble. So an elevator, hearing an elevator, those things can trigger somebody with extreme claustrophobia. And so I think this woman's reaction in that situation, maybe she does have a mental illness, but I think there's also some obvious racism involved in that situation, because she kept saying that the woman was threatening her when she herself was the threat. So, like, it wouldn't have surprised me if all of a sudden she pulled out a gun, the way she was acting and hyperventilating like that. So I think that she was obviously triggered by something, and then you have to say, well, what was she so triggered by? What was she so fearful of? What brought on that panic attack? And that says to me that she is seeing this, the color of this woman's skin as a threat, because there was no threat taking place. She was the one that was the aggressor. So yes, there might be some mental illness, but at the same time, there's also some pathologies and some ideas that she has that she needs to get rid of, because I mean,
I think that that's a perfectly balanced way to say it. Now, Delaney is asking, what is white privilege? I'm trying to understand it well. Okay, now I'm about to explain, Delaney, from my perspective, what white privilege is. Now, here's the deal. You don't have to agree that what I'm saying is right. And if you disagree with me, it doesn't make you a racist. What I will say, though, is your willingness to understand something that you're not familiar with is amazing. And you should continue that mindset. If you do, wallahi, you'll be successful for the rest of your life. Okay? So I just want to set that table. Okay, sis? You don't have to agree with me, and disagreeing with me does not make you a racist. Okay? So I'm going to explain to you the concept of white privilege from my vantage point, and then we'll see. Okay? So white privilege is the idea that, well, there's a couple things. One is there's a mathematical issue, right? White people are the majority in this country. So just on a general basis, we know human nature, whatever system you come from, that we have a bent towards selfishness, right? Like I've got a 2-year-old and I've got to teach him to share with his baby brother. I don't have to teach him to stop giving away all of his food, right? So we're bent towards selfishness. So if you have a society that is the majority of anything, that majority is going to have a privilege over other people, right? Mm-hmm. Now, here's the second thing. Let's go with the race analogy. Let's say that we're all lining up for the 100-yard dash, right? So there's 100 yards you have to go, and whoever reaches the finish line first wins. But let's say that my son, I start him at the 40, I give him a 40-yard head start above everybody else. Now, let's say he wins that race. Does it mean that he didn't practice?
Nope.
No, it doesn't mean he didn't practice. Does it mean that he didn't sweat on the field for countless hours leading up to the meet?
Nope.
No. Does it mean that he didn't run his ass off in the race?
No.
No. It just meant he had a head start, therefore he had an advantage that other people did not have.
Right.
Okay? So what happens with a lot of our white friends is when you tell them you have white privilege and that's why you won the race, what they're hearing is you never worked out, you never did a push-up, you never ran, you didn't run as hard as you could at the race, you never did any of that stuff, it was just given to you. And your white friends are like, well, that's not true, I worked my ass off. Mm-hmm. Yep. Everybody worked their ass off, bro. The problem is that you're in a society that is structured to give you a 40-yard head start. What do I mean by that? Well, one, obviously, is slavery, right? And people go, well, slavery happened in the past. I agree. So did the Declaration of Independence in July 4th, 1776. But we just got done celebrating something in the past, right? Because we understand that what our fathers and our mothers did in the past has ramifications for today.
Absolutely.
So you have a group of people who were brought over here as slaves. They didn't come over here because it was a land of opportunity. They came here because they were slaves. Okay, fine. And they were enslaved for about 250, 300 years. Then they got released. When they got released, we had the 13th Amendment, which literally states that we cannot have slaves except for our prison system. It literally says that. Go check it out. Okay. So then after the slaves got liberated, we then had what was called black codes. So then we stood up these vagrancy laws. So it was if you're a black person who's unemployed and you're just walking around, you're a criminal, we can arrest you, and then we put you back on the plantation. That's literally what happened. Then you had Jim Crow.
So wait, how are they supposed to get a job if they can't wander around?
Correct. And then it got so crazy that in Mississippi, for example, if your boss, you did a good job and he wanted to give you a raise, they outlawed giving black people the raise. Those are the black codes. Okay. Then you have the Federal Housing Association, FHA, right? And this is around post-World War II. You got a lot of low-class white families that, and we all know the quickest way to generate revenue is home ownership. So we came up with this really good idea. Why don't we start doing low-cost mortgages for poor people? Well, what ended up happening? So what ended up happening was that the banks were instructed by, and you can read this, it's called Color of Law, that's the name of the book. The banks were instructed to approve loans for white people and not for black people, and the same economic strata now. So what ended up happening was white people got these housing loans, ended up in the suburbs. The black people got nothing and ended up in the projects. So then the sons and daughters of those white and black people are again starting at a different starting point.
Yep.
Because when you were at 1950, you get that house, you're able to pay off that house by, let's say, 1970, 1975. Your kids are going to inherit that. They can liquidate it. They can do whatever they want. That's, again, another head start. Then you have the legal system, which has never been reformed completely from its racism, where you have a 20% differentiation between sentencing, 20% longer, a black person and a white person for similarly situated crimes. This report was published. I can get that to you if you want. The report was published during the not the Obama administration, but the Trump administration. So if anybody wants to question it, I don't know what to tell you. Black people and white people were prosecuted for the same similarly situated crimes, 20% variance in sentencing. Okay? So all of those things represent the head start. That is white privilege. All those hurdles that I just talked about in the context of competition makes it so that one group of people has a head start over the other group of people. And you know what happened? Even with that, we were still saying, you know what, that's okay. We can grind it out and struggle and our kids will be okay. So we had this thing called Black Wall Street in Tulsa. And then you know what happened. The police organized a militia and destroyed Black Wall Street for that reason. So we are the sons and the daughters of the people that happened to. And there are a lot of people who are the sons and the daughters of the people that did not happen to, who are saying all our sons and daughters now are starting the race from an equal spot. That's what white privilege is. Good question. And again, you don't necessarily have to agree that it's right. Do your own research, but that's what it is. That's what the concept is. Okay? But I got to tell you, I love the hell out of you for asking the question and really, truly wanting to learn.
Yep.
It's very important.
Yep.
Very, very important. Well, Ranger, so Ranger says, I get there's definitely a historical record that would cause black folks to feel super sketchy about societal behavior in the U.S. No, 275. It's not historical. We just saw a video in 2021, bro. That's the thing that kills me about this discussion.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Historical. Rodney King, was he historical? I just got done telling you there is a 20, as of 2016, there is a 20% variance in sentencing between white men and black men for similarly situated crimes.
That means they're in for 20% more. They're getting 20% more of a punishment than the rest of the people.
So I honestly don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean historical? Like, that's today. That's happening today. And the FHA stuff has reverberations for today. As a matter of fact, the FHA situation, the redlining, has more of a negative effect now than it did back then. You know why? Because houses appreciate. 275. That means that they got more. You can get more out of the house now than when you first got the loan. So it's not historical. That's that's where the disconnect is happening, bro. It's not historical. It's historical and it's current. That's the issue. Mm-hmm. And every single generation where we've had this struggle, it's always the same thing. During the 60s, they were saying that. The white moderate was saying that to Dr. King, like, yeah, man, I get it. Like, slavery was bad, blah, blah, blah. And Dr. King was like, no, we're going through shit now, bro. They're like, nah, man, it's not that bad. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it was so difficult to see. Like, before you and I got together, I didn't see it. I didn't think that it existed. I just thought that you guys were just whining, like, oh my word, like, you weren't a slave, I wasn't a slave owner, let it go. Mm-hmm. And it was not even something that I saw at all until I saw, obviously, you know, Eric Garner, and that was extremely horrific to see something like that. But I've shown that to other white people because I thought it was going to have the same effect on them, and they were emotionless on it. They just,
what do you mean?
You should have been following the law. I'm like, are you crazy? What is happening?
You heard
here?
Those people dissing George Floyd, spitting on his grave, saying all types of horrible shit about the man, knowing he had a daughter.
Yeah, that's just.
They didn't care he was running a Bible study or anything like that, man. Come on, bro.
I will say, you and I, when we started our businesses, like, I was always confused at why you did business stuff the way that you did. For me, I'm used to, okay, you have a bunch of connections and you reach out to all your connections and that's where you start. And for you, you'd be like, we're going to just build it from the bottom all the way up.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. And now it's kind of more of an accomplishment feeling because you had nobody to hang on to kind of get a jump start. But I was like, during this review, thinking about it, I'm like, holy shit, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have that mindset that you were going to have some, you know.
Yeah, I was just reading this thing about this first-time home buyer, and their lender was like, can't you get somebody to give you $50,000? Mm-hmm. And, like, I remember you had it wasn't 50 grand, but they gave you some little startup. Your family gave you some startup little thing or whatever.
Well, it wasn't my family, but it was his family. What happened was you couldn't own two places at the same time.
275. Nobody misrepresented what you said, bro, because I posted what you said on the screen itself. What you said was, I understand why the historical issues would be sketchy. So I responded by saying, well, our current concern aren't the historical issues. Our current concerns are the current issues that are happening. So I understand that you're a little bit exercised right now, but that's not what I said. Nobody misrepresented your point, big bro. And I don't understand why this is why you're so upset. What are you upset about? Who wronged you? I posted what you said in its entirety, and then I commented on it. Who wronged you? Now I could say about you that you were misrepresenting me when you made your ACAB comment or when you made your white privilege comment, but I didn't do that. I just addressed it. So let's just get away from the that stuff, and then let's just deal with the points presented, okay? I'm not going to sit there and whine about you misrepresenting me because you made the ACAB comment or whatever. So we could just man up and talk to each other like men. What problem do you have exactly with what I said? I never said that you said that it was all in the past. I never said that. What I did, though, was address the fact that you did not include the current situation that we're in. No, I'm not making it sound like you're arguing a point that you're not. You said something about historical, so black people could be sketchy. I understand that. And I posted that comment in its entirety, 275. And what I said was, you left out the fact that shit is currently happening. Yeah, well, I didn't misrepresent you. You're just wrong. You're just saying that because you're upset about what I said, but I never misrepresented you. That's impossible for me to do considering I posted the entirety of the quote, 275. So let's get away from that, and how about you address the substance of what I said, right? Because now I'm trying to take care of your emotions instead of dealing with the actual issue. How about we deal with the actual issue? How about you deal with what I just said? For example, you made the comment about white privilege. I went and explained to Delaney what I thought white privilege was. Do you agree or disagree that that is a valid understanding about where we are in the current situation that we're in as Americans? Or do you believe that you and I are completely on level ground? Well, it's possible that I could have misunderstood the quote. It's also possible that you came in here so emotional the minute you heard some bad things about cops and white privilege that it skewed your ability to understand what I was saying. That's also possible.
That does happen.
Now, what could be helpful is I could give you a link and you and I could have a conversation. I don't think that's going to happen, though. So how about 275, you deal exactly with my response to Delaney so that we can have a constructive conversation. So let's get away from you feeling upset at me by being misrepresented, and how about you just deal with the actual substance of what I was saying about the concept of white privilege. Can we do that? Delaney says, I want to believe we're on the same level. Well, I think that's the ideal we all want to reach for, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, for example, Delaney, I think you're a female. You're not on the same level as me in our current society as far as gender relationships go, right? So we've got a way to go. Even if, imagine that there wasn't a concerted effort by local law enforcement or the legal structure of the country to currently keep black people down, there is such a historical record of, that's 1 out of 2. So we're gonna let 275 because his comment isn't completed yet. So we're gonna wait.
And it would have come in back to back if it said 1 or 2.
I'd also like to believe, by the way, Delaney, that the entire world, that all human beings are equal. But the fact of the matter is, Americans are the most privileged people on the face of the earth. So I have American privilege, you have American privilege, right? So that's why I said there isn't always necessarily a moral attribution to a person who's experiencing positive privilege. Right? So I'm not saying that you're a bad person because you experience white privilege. I'm not a bad person because I experience male privilege or American privilege. I become a bad person when I don't take that privilege and use it for the benefit of others. So Delaney, if I'm in a parking lot and a dude starts talking all reckless and crazy to you because he knows that you're, mathematically speaking, going to be physically weaker than him, if I don't use my male privilege, which is being born with a certain type of body, to interject and protect you, now I'm a bad person. You see the difference? Shitty behavior by the country against black folks like that, you have to understand how people would feel about it. It's a historically insane record of mistreatment that shitty behavior would cause. Well, yeah, I agree completely with what you're saying, but that's not the initial phrase that you used. So this 275, what you just said was a lot more nuanced than what you initially said before. Okay? So 275, that's a problem. Let me show you, and then you tell us if you think that the group of comments that you just said is the same as what you said before. Okay? So here's what you said. Here's what you said before. Okay. Holy shit, you said a bunch. Cops kill more white people than black people. It's amazing to me that people don't listen.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember one of the words?
It's unbelievable that people don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Okay, so this is what you said. If there is a perceived to be by some black folks. There's a reason for it. There's a historical record and a context and a record to support it. That's what you said. What you said later was much more nuanced, and I agreed with it, but this is all you said initially. So that's all I said. That's what I was addressing. So nobody took you out of context. Nobody did any of that. You made a statement. I engaged with the statement, and then you came with a clarification. That's how conversations go. And I understand it's hard to be nuanced in Twitter length post. I get it. But 275, I mean, you came in here talking about ACAB, right? I never said ACAB. You came in here saying you were tired of white privilege. So you came in here centering yourself and your suffering as a white person, having to hear about white privilege, right? I mean, let's just be fair. And all I'm saying is, well, let's get away from how people feel about it and let's address the actual issues and then collaborate together, me and you, and we can work on a solution, right? But saying most of the people who die at the hands of police are white men is not a helpful statement because we know that you're 66% of the country. We're not saying that cops only kill unarmed black people. What we're saying is when they do to us at 3 times the rate than your kids are. That's what we're saying. That there's a disproportionate application of lethal force to us, and Harvard says that, not me, not Vincent. Harvard is saying that. So what I'm saying is we're never going to be able to get to where we need to get to if we don't we're not looking at the same objective reality. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you don't acknowledge there's a problem, then you can't come up with a solution.
And there it is again. I tried to clarify, but you jumped on my ass. Okay, let's say I did that. Okay, forget about that. I disagree with you. We're going to agree to disagree like men. Can you now address the actual issues that I'm bringing up? Like, for example, when you said more white people die at the hands of police than black people, are you aware of the fact that we are disproportionately represented in the lethal force category by 3 times the amount based on our population? Can you please address that? That's Harvard. Address that. Because this situation is much bigger than how you feel about what I said about your comment earlier. So can you address that? Because you're saying that all these things are situational and they're not racial. Okay, fine. Then why is it that I'm 3 times more likely to be killed than you are by a police officer? Okay, are we gonna... Okay. So what I'm asking you is, what do you feel is the solution? Because if you're saying, okay, he says, yeah, and there are reasons for that. Okay, there are reasons for what, 275? Reasons that black people are killed 3 times more than officers? What are the reasons that black people are sentenced at a 20% higher rate than similarly situated crimes of white people? What are those reasons? And 275, since you're saying there are reasons for that, have you read the Harvard review? Have you even read the abstract of that report? It's an honest question. Okay, so you've read the abstract of the... So you've read the Harvard journals for why black people are killed. So what were the causes indicated in the Harvard report? What were the reasons given in that report? 275, since you read it. Well, I mean, he said he's read it. So yeah, I mean, Vanessa says when yeah, I think he's reading it now. Okay. Well, I mean, okay. And look, this is my guy. 275 is my guy. We're friends outside of this situation. We've got bonds, you know. I got nothing but respect for the homie. There are reasons, for example, if you enslave a group of people for a great length of time, force them in impoverishment, shitty situations, these people will do what they have to do in order to survive. Never said I read it. Okay. Yeah, no, that is true. People will do what they're going to do things outside of the law to survive. I agree with you. However, 275, that is not the story of black people in this country, though. It's not the story of us breaking the law in order to survive. That's not what happened. That is your perception of what is happening. That is not what has happened. So that's why we need to have the conversation. 275, Black Wall Street was a moment where black people were going to be able to create generational wealth to pass on to their children. And the fathers of this country organized a militia and destroyed that. So we generated revenue in a completely legal context, and that was taken from us on a multitude of occasions. Secondly, when we tried to get honest work, your fathers created what's known as the black codes that made it literally impossible for us to work. And it guaranteed the impoverishment, and it guaranteed that Africans and their descendants would be a slave class in America. So it's not like from the beginning we were just like, oh yeah, man, we got to grind, we got to do a bunch of legal shit to survive. No, we ourselves were criminalized for existing. And this is why you need critical race theory in schools. Most white people don't know this. You don't know this stuff. You were not taught about Black Wall Street in school, 275. You weren't taught about that. So you're speaking from a perspective that is not being informed with the accurate history or even current history as to what's happening. Don't you think that would then hamper your understanding of what's going on in the context of this discussion? Did that Anna K student thing go anywhere? Hey, buddy. Well, I reached out to her. I've got like a 2-week shelf life on the drama. So if she reaches out to me in the next 14 days, we're going to do a show with her for sure. Oh, I think you're wrong, Song Snob. We absolutely do need CRT to teach history, for sure. For sure. Because if we had CRT, then a lot of these discussions would be a lot easier to have, because we would all be operating from the same perspective. But again, white privilege doesn't mean that white people didn't earn what they got. It doesn't mean that they didn't work hard. It just means that they had a head start, or they were able to not have obstacles placed in their way that other groups of people have had it placed in the way. That's all that white privilege is. That's all. I love how people are acting like I don't know about the historical racism that occurred in this nation, but that's cool. No. 275. Everybody knows the historical issues. The problem is you came into the room centering yourself in the discussion. So because they don't know you like I know you, they're going to have certain perceptions of you. But you got to admit, you came into our space and starting the ACAB stuff and you feel bad because you keep hearing about white privilege. And you centered yourself in the discussion. And you victimized yourself because you had to suffer through hearing about white privilege. So of course, people are going to have a certain perspective of you, bro. I don't have that perspective of you, but I've known you for 2 years. So, I mean, it is what it is. Whether it's fair or not, that's how it goes. White privilege exists. I just don't believe it influences every aspect of life. Yeah, there's lots of aspects of my life that white privilege has nothing to do with. My relationship with God had nothing to do with my any of that. So I agree with you there, but I'm gonna put something out to you, 275. When you hear somebody talking about white privilege again, why don't you ask them what their experiences have been? right? Because when I hear a bunch of women talking about men and how much they hate men, obviously I want to get defensive. But I know I live in a society that prioritizes men. So what I've learned to do is say, okay, sis, tell me what's going on. Like, tell me how that's affected you in your life or whatever. And I shut up and I listen. Now, there's a reason I shut up and listen. It's because I have a daughter, right? So now I have a selfish reason because I want to make sure that I'm the best dad I could be. So I shut the fuck up and listen to these women when they tell me this stuff because now I've invested interest in it. Okay? So I'm not talking to these women because I'm such a good person. I'm talking to these women because they've been talking before, but until I had a vested interest in it, I honestly turned a blind eye to it. I'm not out here to pretend to be a better person than I am, okay? I'm listening to these women because I have a self-interest. I got my little Zoe, and I want to know how to be the best dad I can for her in the context that she's in, right? So what I'm saying is, the next time somebody's talking about that, I'm just going to say, I just think you should say, tell me how it's affected you. Or you could say, do me a favor, give me a 2-minute definition of white privilege and explain to me how it's happened to you. And then you know what, 275, just like I said to Delaney, I said, listen, Delaney, I'm about to explain something to you. If you disagree with me, it doesn't mean you're a racist, right? So there's, and the reason I said that is because I know that in a space like this, right, that she's going to be pressured to say, oh, that's right, and blah, 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 blah. So I know that about this context, so I go out of my way as a leader to say, you're not a racist if you disagree with me. But she asked the question, I'm going to answer it, right? So that way I protect her from the whole room falling on her if she voices a disagreement because she's trying to learn, right? So that's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying is we got to try to understand each other. We got to try to know each other a little bit better. And that's a two-way street. That's a two-way street. And I'm not saying we're on equal footing, but, we do have an obligation to listen to everybody, right? We got to listen to everybody. And you're right. Men are getting more and more objectified nowadays. For sure. All right, guys. Look, man, this is a way forward, guys. This is a way forward. 275, I mean, his name says it all. The guy's a real life soldier. Most people would have said, man, fuck this shit and got out and left. But he didn't. And that's how real, true progress gets made. It's messy conversations between friends that look one way, but people who have mutual love and respect from each other, but are seeing things from different perspectives because they have different experiences, right? So that's how you do progress, man, is like you have conversation, you have the uncomfortable ones, and you fight like mad for the important relationships that you have. So, 275 is a very, very important person to me personally. And so I'm going to engage brother in such a way as to make sure that I see him the next time I do a stream because he's important to me as a human being. But I'm not going to compromise who I am as a man, and he's not going to compromise who he is as a man. Okay? But we wrestle with each other. He does jujitsu, right? So we wrestle with each other. We do all that stuff, but we're trying to get somewhere, right? And so yeah, of course, 270. I appreciate the hell out of you, bro. I got hella respect for you, and you know that. And bro, if the bell rang, man, I'd be riding with you 100%. You know that. So I don't, you already know that, bro. But anyway, guys, shout out to 275 for that. That was some real man shit that you did right there. Shout out to Candy Apple. Apologies for my sassiness. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, man, much love to everybody. Honestly, guys, if you're a praying person, pray for everybody involved, including, Kai, we gotta talk. We gotta talk, Kai, for sure. Kai's another one. I got friends all over, man. I got 275. I got Kai. He's over there. So I got King Harlem. I got Candy Apples. I got Delaney. My man Dan is in the house. Holy shit, Dan. And I'm gonna leave with this, and then of course Michelle, obviously, baby sis Michelle, holy moly, right in my heart. Okay, guys, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read Applejacks, and then I'm gonna read this and peace out, guys, because we really need to hear this message from Sister Vanessa. Okay, so here's the super chat. This is a community I want to be part of. You're part of it, bro. We're with you, and you're with us for sure. You're from us and we're from you, as a man used to say. But I wanna Seven Dusted in the house, my man. Stay safe, bro. Stay safe, Seven Dusted. Hey guys, I want to read what Vanessa said, because it really important what Sister's saying here. So Vanessa says, please listen to this. If you listen to anything I've said, please listen to this. Okay, so Vanessa says, we have to stop canceling people. Yes! Stop with the canceling, please. Growing is always painful. Holy moly, the wisdom here. But people get shut down fast and not always fairly. So until we start bridging the gap to understanding, we're kind of fucked. She's absolutely right. And there is so much wisdom in this post, y'all. What this woman is saying, it's true, guys. It's true. We gotta end the canceling bullshit, and we've got to be patient with people, and people got to be patient with us, man. We're human beings. It's a very volatile time. You guys realize we were not meant to see all the evil in the world. Now we got a 24-hour news cycle. Everybody's got cameras. You can ingest all the fucking horrible evil on the planet, right? And then we all come and talk to each other. People are hurt, man. People are carrying around pain. We don't know what 275 was carrying around before he got on. Y'all don't know what I was carrying around before I got on, right? And then somebody says something, and boom, we're going to cancel them. We're not going to hear what they have to say. That's complete bullshit, man. Like, we got to listen to what Sister's saying, because she's 100% right. She's 100% right on that. We got to stop canceling people. We got to start listening. We got to start asking questions like Delaney. And then we got to not follow my bad example and get snippy with people. I have to be more patient. I know I have to work on that, y'all. I know that I have to work on that, y'all. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. My kids have a swim meet tomorrow, y'all, so I'm going to go check out that swim meet. I'll report back to you how it's going. My son, he's the guy has he's got a lot of heart. His technique, I don't know, but it's his first swim meet, and hey, it is what it is. I'll report to you guys, but much love to you guys all. Shout out to Perkinos. Shout out to Art Perez. Shout out to baby sis Delaney. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Much love to everybody. Love your neighbor. Take care of each other. Middle America, we are the media. Till next time, guys.